Uh, I believe I just did a 20-minute live stream without any microphone audio for reasons that are still beyond me. Um, this is the new laptop, and I don't know what's up because I did like a bunch of audio testing today and it was fine, but for whatever reason, when I went to stream, it didn't want to use my audio at all, which is not ideal, I'll be honest. I will put out another message that we are streaming because I'm not sure what happened with the last one. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Is this stream working properly? I believe it is, although I cannot access it. Okay, so what we're working on is this big fantasy inn, as I explained for 20 minutes in the last stream. We are just across the water here from Castle Stoneheart, and we are next to the big bridge, which I just realized I haven't named this bridge, but I showed this off kind of a couple of times in a couple of ways. We are in this kind of custom terrain area that I built, and the idea was just to have something here that's kind of on the edge of civilization. So it's kind of like big and rich and fancy, but it's also like weird and misplaced. Because it's fantasy, you know? Can have some fun with it. But yeah, I think that the stream now is properly working, I believe at least. But I still cannot access it. So something is happening with that. It is set to public. Who's to say? Hold on. Really having... Okay, you can hear me now? Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's occurring. I can't access my own stream on YouTube. But apologies for this whole debacle. What I had said though is basically that we're working on this big tavern area. Uh, there's like a downstairs area. This is gonna be like the kitchen. This is gonna be the main kind of hanging out. This place is gonna be full of bedrooms for people who are coming to stay here. Realistically, I think probably like four. This level is gonna be for housing for the people who live here, and then this top area is just gonna be a pretty small one built for storage, essentially, storing like provisions and stuff. So there is a big hook out here that you can use to pick up supplies from down below. So I'm probably going to get rid of these trees when I get the chance. And I was trying to get my YouTube music working here in the background. I could not really tell you how that's going. The streaming is so fun. Yeah, I kind of prefer YouTube videos mostly. I guess you get a bit more bang for your buck with them as a creator, but also I'm just more used to it at this point. So there are fewer of these sorts of issues. Here, we'll come in here and where is this? About here? This will all be dark oak again. And then we'll make all of this dark oak as well. So we'll come like this and into here. Fill dark oak. And I'm getting kind of deja vu. I could have sworn I did this already. Yeah, so we're up here now. We're supposed to have another level here. I don't know if I can punch this out. I guess I can. Although it is exposing the tiles outside. And what I'm probably going to do for the tiles is do a little bit of texture work. I guess I already kind of did, but I don't know. I feel like maybe it could use a bit of weathering. And I'm sorry if you're typing in the chat, but I cannot access my own live stream at the moment, which is somewhat problematic, one might say. So here we go. Dark oak, dark oak. This is looking decent. It's a bit weird though. Okay, I did not plan this out properly. This is clearly supposed to be a little bit higher than it is. Okay, hold on. Let's come in here, delete that, first of all. Yeah, okay, so this will go up by 1. And it'll go up by 1 up until here, basically. The interior of this place is admittedly just messed up because, well, basically because of the way that I did the exterior with the banners. I had to make it be kind of black walls. I'll kind of explain what I mean, right? So I don't know if you guys have seen people use like the banners as walls. The thing is, you kind of need the background to be the same color as this bit, because if it's the same color as this, you get these weird missing connections. It kind of looks like it doesn't fully make sense. But if you put it all black, then even where it's kind of missing a bit, it kind of just looks like there's like a thin piece of wood. So it balances itself out, basically. But yeah, so we are coming in here trying to kind of make heads or tails of this place, which, okay, like why is this not? I get it. Okay, I get it. I get it. I'm not sure how I want this to feel, really. I guess it should feel more wooden though, right? I feel like if you're up in the attic of a place, it should feel like there are like big wooden beams crossing everywhere and stuff. Um, Maybe like every 3? No, that kind of lines up really poorly. Hold on, that's 4 there, and that's 4 there. So clearly I messed up and I built this on a 2x2 instead of a like 3x3. But anyway, you can go like so. Maybe we'll divide this up on the inside. Maybe we'll leave it open. Probably divide it up, to be honest. Maybe something like this, and then we can make this one room and this one room. And that'll kind of make our space feel a bit better, I think. Or if this is the bedroom, then yeah, if the stairs are coming up there, what we should do is make this the bigger side, so that this is the kind of entrance, and this is... Never mind. Ignore what I've said. I've changed my mind. Alright. Let me find a way to actually access my chat, because this is bothering me, and I can't figure it out. I don't know what's happening with my chat. Hello, Marvin Builds and Nefu in the chat. I'm gonna watch your live stream while I play Bloxburg. I do not know what Bloxburg is. I will be honest. I'm assuming... I'm gonna take a wild guess and say this is something Roblox related. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, though. There we go. And what did I do down here? This is kind of a... I kind of regret doing this, like, weathering style, I'll be honest. Given the choice, I would not redo it. but you know, c'est la vie, I guess. Bloxburg is a building game, but you cannot roleplay it. But you cannot to roleplay in it like it's The Sims. I okay. Hello, Sir Friedrich von Königsberg. What's up? What's up is stream troubles mostly, I'll be honest. And hello, Devin Bowen in the chat. Appreciate you guys sticking around. This is a bit of a wonky stream. I just realized we have like no space up here. I think though that it's fine if we let a little bit of tile show. Like I said, this bit up here is... Is there a window here? There is. Oops. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, let's just do this. There we go. Get some wooden framing in here. I don't really want to see the tile too much, if I can help it. There we go. So this is just a little wooden framed area now. Feels really attic-y. Obviously, like I mentioned, it's kind of messing with the interiors that the outside is black, but it's for a good reason. And that reason is I've kind of become somebody who thinks more about exteriors and interiors through the process of YouTube, basically. Which might sound like weird, but you know, like as a YouTuber, you have to think of like the screenshots of it all. There we go. So we can come up here nicely. Probably get a railing here so that we don't like fall off and die. I think the furniture in this place should be... That's not right. I think the furniture in this place should be mostly spruce. Because I feel like if I go for like acacia or something, it's going to be too... I don't know. Maybe I should do acacia. Hold on. Mini stream poll. For anyone who's here. I'm on the phone, by the way, watching and playing. I think it works with the vibe. Thank you. It's a weird vibe. But I want to ask people in the chat, what color wood should we go for the furniture? Is this more of an acacia place? Should I go for more... I could go weird. Like if you guys want me to go weird with it, I'll do like crimson or something, or I'll try it at least. Over here though, we could use a door. And if we did crimson, it would look like that, which is like kind of a vibe. I don't know. I mean, that's up to preference, of course, but I think we could make it a vibe if we wanted. Of course, spruce is always the most classic color of furniture. Dark oak wouldn't really work. We're working with a lot of dark in here. We could try mangrove. Mangrove could look nice. You know, kind of depending, I guess. I feel like I want to make this stairs. Ooh, I can't remove that. Okay. Maybe this will be slabs. Yeah, you know, I don't know. Let's think a little bit about... Hold on. Let's think a little bit about what this interior should really look like. If we assume something like that, which is kind of a lot of hallway. Like a lot of hallway. Hold on. That's way too much hallway. We should assume more like this. And then we can get more rooms in. Right? I mean, that's just logical. We want to We're an inn. We're trying to get the max amount of rooms that we can. That's fine. We'll block a window. It doesn't matter. We could have like some small rooms. And then like a couple big rooms. Yeah, that kind of works, you know. Four sleeping areas. That's not bad. All right, let's check back in on the pool. I think it works with the vibes. Crimson doors are so good. I agree. Crimson doors, they cooked. Probably depends on how colorful you want to make the build. Yeah, it does. I think like decently colorful though. Okay, obviously the interior, I'm saying decently colorful as I place like 9,000 like black blocks. You can't even tell. You can't even tell that that's close. Um, but like within this black block deal that we're going for. Do I have wool in here? I do. Okay. Especially since we're working with nether colors. I think I'm gonna try the purple. You know, put some respect on Jappa for making some nice purple colored stuff and you know, try to actually use it in the game. I do think that the black walls are a little bit oppressive, but I don't really know what else to make the walls out of, to be honest. I can make them yellow. Hold on. I really need to figure out how to access my dang chat. To be clear, I've done it in the past. It's just usually I can open my live streams on my phone and I look at the chat on my phone while I'm playing on my laptop. But I can't access the live stream, which is not ideal. Like, that's not how it's supposed to work. And I don't have a second monitor. So there is some sort of issue. Neff was saying themed rooms, bamboo or birch to contrast the dark might look good. Bamboo could be cool. Bamboo could be cool. I'm thinking maybe these interior walls should be yellow. I don't know. Do you guys think they should be yellow or stay black? Because the outside is yellow, right? Like from an outside, like from a purpose perspective, the walls are theoretically yellow with just a little bit of black, like wood in between. But I don't know. Um, I think my issue with using bamboo for doors, though, evidently, the bamboo doors have big assholes in them. Sorry, I try not to swear. The bamboo doors have rather large holes in them, which make them inadequate for bedroom doors, according to most people's tastes, effectively. So, bamboo doors, not necessarily the move. Although not necessarily not the move either, you know, just something to think about. Hello, sir. Hello, Grumpy Bear in the chat. I'm trying out another way to access this live stream. I did it. Okay, guys, I did it. I finally have the chat up on my phone. I had to go through Discord and open up the Discord link that I sent and then get it that way. Okay. Going back to the original question though. No privacy with the bamboo doors. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Hold on. Oh, right. Okay. This is supposed to be a toilet, but I didn't really plan it out well. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Oh, okay. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I don't know that I was. Remember when I said that I built this place mostly for the exterior, not the interior? This is one of those moments. I just built this so that I could have like an extension on the side. I was not thinking about where it's gonna line up, and where it lines up is a horrible place. Um, by the way, just wanted to say I love the Tretogor world download you released. Got so much good inspiration from it. Seriously baffles me that more people don't world build using Minecraft. I'm glad you liked it. I have spent a ton of time on this place, and it is my baby, and I love it very much. I will eventually switch to another world. Like I know it mentally. I will at some point need to switch. I haven't really gotten around how to not immediately get burned out by the fact that I'm not in like a forever world and I'm just building with like nothing around me. Because I haven't started a build in a completely blank world in like 3 years, except for Modelo Castle, which I didn't show you guys because I didn't finish it because I got burnt out. Case in point. Sir Friedrich von Königsberg, can you show me the exteriors? And Devin Bowen saying yellow walls. This is the exterior of the place. Uh, Basically, I went into my survival flat world and I was like, great. I want to make a build with interesting shapes. I make too many builds that are just like big rectangle. So like this build is gonna have cool shapes. So that's why I came in here and I was like, great. We're gonna have a shape here, a triangle there, a triangle there, a big triangle there, and then some more squares and a circle on the edge. Trying to have fun with it. Nafu's saying, where is it on the map? I cannot open my Zero's world map because I will spoil some things. But this is Castle Stoneheart. And over here we have Regensburg and the Van Graff estate. Down here, this is something I haven't really showed off much, but I built this little barrier between the Regensburg lands and the Stoneheart lands. And for those of you who watched the monumental architecture video, that monument is right over there. I'm playing with 12 render distance because I want to keep my fan low, basically, because I don't want it bothering my audio, which I'm sure is already not like the crispest thing you guys have ever heard in your lives. But yeah, this is where we are in the map. There's not much around here in terms of like human habitation. Everything's kind of a bit far away. This feels close because it's like, oh, look, you can see it. But in a Minecraft world, you'd have to actually like climb all the way here and then come all the way around here, go along the bridge, skirt along this area, come through here, around the town, up here, and then you're in. And realistically, it's like a 5 minute walk. So that's kind of one of the things I build my world around is trying to make it like walkable for people who want to visit my world in survival or adventure mode. And they're like, great, where's everything? And I'm like, you can see it and you can walk to it, you know? That's like one of the big sells of Tretogor. Coming back to here though, let's try yellow walls. I don't know. Maybe yellow terracotta? Because I don't want to like blind people, evidently. That's kind of cool though. Oldest trick in the book, using bee's nest as a baseboard. Whoops. What'd I break? Where break? Oh, this was glass. Hold on. I'm using tinted glass here, so it's like low-key actually dark. A little bit actually dark. I'm using tinted glass because it looks cool, basically. No real other reason, to be honest. And you guys might hear my little yappy dog in the background occasionally. As little yappy dogs tend to do, he kind of yaps. I have what's called a Yorkshire Beaver, which is like a terrier, but he doesn't do anything. He just kind of sits around and barks all day. Are you building a castle or something? This is a big inn. So this is just for travelers, because I want this area to be like really low population, like as low as I can possibly get it to be. Um, because we're like at the edge of the map and we're at the edge of like kind of everything, I want it to feel like as you get further from spawn, things get like less and less inhabited. By the way, if my game noises are too loud or too quiet, you guys can let me know. I don't know how it comes across really. In theory, it's a little bit quieter than my voice, but if it's too loud, I'll just change it. But yeah, this isn't in because I want this place to be like not super popping off. It's a big fancy inn, but that doesn't mean they have travelers. Like maybe they're just like robbing people, or maybe they have like some kind of like blood money from like raiders or whatever. I don't know. Da, 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 da. So this is what our purple and yellow vibe on the inside would look like. I don't know how we all feel about that. Um, I like the Stoneheart colors on the inn. Yes, yes. I think this is like I don't think it belongs to like Stoneheart, but I do think that they're definitely like say in league. Like it's not an independent entity. I'm not I'm not gonna count it as part of the Stoneheart population. If you guys are hanging out on the Discord a lot, you may see my population metrics. I do population censuses for Regensburg and like for Tretogor, I mean. Um, but I don't know. I don't want to count this as part of like Stoneheart. That feels like a it feels like cap, as they say. Here, maybe I'll make this look a little bit more like wallpaper. I think this looks horrible. Um, I think this also looks horrible. I will say, I'm glad that we have bamboo now, but there still aren't really enough yellow blocks in Minecraft compared to other things. Like, we have enough black blocks now. We can make black stuff very easily. I appreciate it. I love it, but we have enough to go around. We don't really have enough yellow. Or green, kind of. You gotta look at like the slabs and stairs of things, right? Like we just don't have a lot of like pure green half slabs. If you want green slabs, these are your options. Like these are the green slabs of the game, which is not ideal. Like that's not perfect. Blue half slabs. We also don't have any blue slabs. And if you want green walls, this is the only green. Well, here again, like this is not this is not a good situation to be in for green walls. But anyway, what do we think of the yellow interiors? Nafu saying, how do I join the Discord? If you look in the descriptions of most of my videos from the past couple months, I usually have a link to the Discord down below, like just right under the video. Greenstone and bluestone one? I've been saying, I think we need some greenstones. What do we think of the yellow walls? Is it too much? Should I change the doors? I could go yellow and red. Yellow and red would work. But then we wouldn't have the crimson vibe, so. You should try some banners. I don't want to put banners on the interior because it's going to cause problems. Like right up against here, immediately it's going to cause problems. Um, Ideally, like I could just build with like Waddle and Daub, like for real, but obviously we can't in Minecraft right now, so or probably ever, obviously, but There we go. And probably gonna come in with some slabs, maybe here. Just like a little wooden stair. So yeah, this is gonna be the kitchen area. I should probably make some windows. Like so. I'm thinking maybe it's kind of pink though. Like this is a very acacia wood or logs, whatever. It's a very pinky orange. Like this is not. Hold on. This is with Axiom, by the way, for people who are not super familiar with how I usually build. Is this the vibe? Is this the vibe? Not really, no. Um, Mangrove might look better, but purple is more unique. FW, the yellow walls, though, I do not want to say that. Use banners with a design. Yeah, I get it. I just don't. I feel like it's not gonna go well in the interiors. Like, okay, for here, for example, I can't do banners here and here. I can't do it here and here. So this wall would be like only banners on like the east and west, and it would be none on north and south, which would just unfortunately be bizarre. Um, I kind of like the black windows we've been doing. They don't let any light in though, which is a bit problematic. A bit problematic. Could do this. And then we'd have some little arches, which kind of works. I don't think I want to block these though. I think I'd rather just have them open. Oh, I should shift this over. There we go. Now I've got that sorted. Got some nice big windows letting in natural light here, and we can turn this down a bit. Maybe not quite that much. Um, Here we go. So hold on. So I'm gonna try and use a little bit of this in here. Just gonna quick replace a little bit of the floor. Like so. Got a good amount of natural light. Although not quite enough, so I might do like a big hanging chandelier or something. I don't know. I don't know how you're really supposed to light up a kitchen. And we can do another window up here, actually. Oh, that's kind of nice. Kind of like that shape better, actually. It's like a really good arch. It doesn't go down as much. I'm probably gonna make like a big furnace back here. So here's the question. The color that our chimney should be. Nether brick kind of sucks as a pattern because it's like really small bricks. We could make it out of something that's like technically flammable because we don't have fire tick on. So it could be like a dark oak chimney. But we do need something with stairs. I think black would be too much. Deep slate doesn't really go well against it. Maybe we could do a blue chimney. Something like that, and then it would be sticking up. Where is this? Right here? I mean, we can make it stick up wherever we want, but that's what a blue chimney would look like. And I think that kind of works. I think we just need to chain it down a bit. If we go like so, it should stay up, and then we need something to top this with. Like I said, we don't really have any good walls. And we don't have any good stairs. So it's a bit tough, a little bit tough. I'm not convinced. I will say I'm not convinced about this chimney, guys. If you have any chimney suggestions in the chat, feel free to let me hear them. Can try this out. That still doesn't really register as a chimney, though. I think it might be too colorful. Maybe if it was yellow, it would fit better. I'm not entirely sure. But we can try to make a yellow. I mean, this is really tough, though, to make like a yellow gradient. Like I said, we're kind of missing a lot of yellow blocks in Minecraft. I think it should probably just be orange. I think orange is the move. And then if we do that, then we can come in here with something like walls on top. Or we could do stairs. Like so. And I've been using glass for smoke. So I'll show you. This is my, for anybody who's curious, this is the very unpleasant and boring way of making big smoke clouds in Minecraft. Is you start with something like this. And then you go in here, and I'm going to turn my audio down a little bit for this. But you start kind of whittling it down. And that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I think I need one in here because it feels a bit odd being empty. And I'm considering... No, it's a little bit too square. There we go. So we have some smoke. It looks a little bit odd from the bottom though, because I've been looking at it from the top. There we go. So getting back to this kitchen, we kind of need to put a big furnace here. I think they probably have two things going on, one to cook bread and one to roast meat. If I had to kind of guess what the vibe is. This is not a great chimney design, and it's a bit too dark in here to actually see anything. So why don't we just raise the brightness a little bit? And check back in on our music. There we go. Things are looking a little bit brighter now, physically, literally. We're gonna put a big turning spit of meat on this side. Trying to make this look like fantasy, but not just completely ridiculous, which is, I guess, a bit of a task. This is also a really shallow thing here. I think it might need to come out one. So we can go like so and like so. And then we can maybe come back in like that. There we go. That kind of works. Okay. I need to actually do the texturing on this though, otherwise it just looks weird. So we can go like so, and then come in through here. Like that. Great. Over here, we can have our meat turning on a spit. And then come over here, make some meat on the fire. Speaking of fire, we could use one because it's a bit dark in here. There we go. Nice big fantasy fire going on. Oh, turns out that one was kind of important. Okay, so that one's important, but this one isn't. So there we go. That's that sorted. Over here, we're probably gonna have like a big food prep area in the middle. And we never really decided on what color we're gonna go for, but I think crimson is the move. I think crimson is like weird and kind of fun. I've been trying to get more into weird and fun builds, you know. I've said it before, but your realism isn't as important as like just plausible and fun. Plausible is a much better, much more productive idea to have in your head Plausible just means that something could theoretically exist. Like, could there be purple wood in a tavern? Yeah, they probably just dye their wood purple or paint it purple, and that's fine. People could plausibly paint their wood. Nothing wrong with that. And then you get to have places that have cool purple wood. Okay. I don't think we're gonna have an actual lantern going, but I think it could be cool to have stuff hanging down. And I just realized we built this on another. When's the Brewerstown video out? Ooh, good question. Realistic answer. Next Thursday. Like the Thursday that's coming up in like 4 days. I have something big due Tuesday at midnight, which means I can work on that video. Like I can record it Wednesday during the day or Wednesday morning, and I can edit it Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and then I can release it about Thursday afternoon. I think that's like a realistic time frame, which is later than I wanted that video to be out. But when I made my plans for when I wanted things to be out, I wasn't thinking that I was gonna get into like a huge, really unpleasant kind of I mean, I don't know like what the nice term is for it, but like a funk, basically. I've just not been in a good like state of mind for the past little bit, like since school ended, basically, because I've just been home alone and I've been working on this one project, and I've been doing very little progress on it because I feel overwhelmed, basically. So it's going nowhere, and I'm getting closer to the date. So I've been kind of really off with everything, unfortunately. Which is, just one of the realities of deadlines and, being alive. It's not a bad thing, it's just a thing that happens. Oh, good golly. That one I don't like. I'm gonna have some. What are they called? Warped? No, they're called Crimson. No. What is this? Weeping. Okay, whatever. We're gonna have some weeping vines in here. Look like hot chili peppers. Where did that end up? Where did that end up? Oh, okay. It's underneath. Okay, that's fine. And then in here, what we need to do is get some glowberries, because they look like hanging herbs and stuff. Whoops. Hey, ho, hey. That's not what I wanted. I'm not really a fan of how this has worked out. Maybe I could have some chains coming down here. Kind of pulling this up by its bootstraps, you know? There we go. Yeah, that looks a bit better. I just feel like this green is out of place. I don't think it fits in this space, you know? We're dealing with like fantasy stuff here. How's that? I mean, it's not terrible. But it still doesn't really fit with the palette we're working with in here. I think what I'm going to do is create a display entity for some wheat. So get your display entity, push it up to where it's kind of supposed to be. Flip it to 135. uppies. Drag it back a little bit. There you go. Ooh, that's still a little bit too close. Something like that, in theory, is what we want. But I'm not gonna say I'm 100% happy with it. I do not play Roblox, sir. I play Minecraft. There's a difference. What did we decide on this place? Purple? Okay, so we're gonna have some nice big purple doors. Like so. And this one can be the bigger door, because this is where people are actually supposed to come in. Um, like so, and then we can put either a sign back here, or we can put an item frame. It looks kind of weird. Like you get that little kind of white particle. Not white, but that kind of birch color. And that doesn't really work either for me. Might just cover it with another trapdoor. See, that's the issue with playing with any kind of blocks that don't have like solid trapdoors. Is unfortunately you get into this basically. So here, we're just gonna do that. And that'll be it. It'll just be a weird door on the inside. And it'll look better on the outside. And we're gonna do one of these probably up there. Although I don't really like that you can see perfectly well into this. I might block this with some kind of dark banner. Yeah, like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll do purple. That's not what I want to be. But yeah, you know, it's a process. The reason I'm doing this on stream is because I knew this was going to take like 5 hours of my human life to decorate the interior of this. So how's that? Um, not really ideal. I prefer the red. And I still prefer the red. The only other thing I'll try is black, because black could look cool. Between the red and the black, I'm not sure which one I prefer. I don't know. They both have their upsides. I guess I'll probably go red. Unless you guys tell me you prefer black. I don't know. In here, though, I'm still not super happy with how this has worked out. So what I'm going to do is, I think, move this over. I think that's the problem. I don't think there's anything else that's good to hang here. Could do Spore Blossom. But that would just be its own problems, basically. Okay, so I'll have some spruce here. And over here, we'll just have a little pot down by the fire, you know. Maybe they got some stew in there or something. Something nice simmering. In here, we'll put some magma. maybe it's a little bit hotter in the front, and back there it's cooled down a bit. So we're ready to put in some bread. Of course, most of what people are eating, like most of the time, is bread. So you really got to have like a bread baking situation going on whenever you make like a big building like this, I think. Again, that's more about like plausibility versus reality. In reality, you don't need every building to be baking bread, but I think it makes I do think it is a bit more it makes your world feel a bit more like lived in if where people go there's like food being served like in a way that makes sense, not just like the big meat on a stick, but like what people eat day to day. It's 1:45 a.m. here. I'm off to bed. Good night, Nafu. I know I started this bit of a late stream for my Euro bros. The next stream I do is probably going to be a big community event, and that one is going to be more, say, middle of the day-ish. Here, we'll do some... Yeah, there we go. And then over here, I want to put in a shovel to look like a big pizza peel, basically. Well, that's a bit weird. I'm flying too fast. There we go. Now I've got something to get the hot bread out of the oven. Oh! I did not want to do that. I got rid of my pot. That sounds bad. I got rid of my earthenware container, is what I want to say. But for real though, that sucks. There we go. So come in here. Maybe get some bowls. Bowls of stew. I think that's the move. Here, wait, let's do an empty bowl here. And then we'll do like a little pot. This way it looks like somebody's filling up bowls out of this like container. Like so. This is our bread prep area. We do need... I would say we could use a couple of hooks. You know, in case people need to hang their coats when they come in or whatever. I gotta go. See y'all. Good night, Devin Bone. I'm probably gonna go in a bit too. I mean, not too soon. I don't know how much of this place I want to finish. Obviously, I don't think I'm gonna get to the whole thing. It's a pretty big interior, but I'm glad that I did at least part of it on stream. It's fun every once in a while, you know, to get on stream and do these kinds of things. So here we go. We can have that there, and maybe a little plate here with some kind of food. Like a little cake. Well, I don't know. It doesn't really fit the vibe. We'll put something else here. Hold on. We'll put down some glow berries. Maybe this is the secret ingredient in their stew. Back here, though, I want to see if we can't get like a smoky gradient behind this fire. Like so. Something like that. I think kind of fits. I think it kind of fits. Maybe I can figure out a gradient between these two blocks. Nope, not really. Wait, I'm using brown? Okay, there we go. That kind of fits better. There we go. So the kitchen is mostly done. Could use one or two more details, but we're really getting there. We're getting to where I want to be. Trying to think of what else we could put in here. Oh, probably some water. That's not ideal. Hold on. There we go. I think it's this color because we're in a meadow biome, which I placed here because this is technically like a desert if you guys look at the world download. I mean, you have the world download, you can come to this place basically, and it is just like a kind of weird desert bit hanging out. I even labeled it like that in the map that I made. Can we put anything up on the walls? I'm trying to think. I think this is mostly everything. Unless we did another one of these hanging out in here. Like so. Whoops, hey, oh, hey. That's not what I wanted. Okay. So I think we can probably come in here like so. Do another one of these hanging up. And there we go. Okay. I think that's kind of what I was missing. You know, to feel a bit more like a real kitchen. Or not real necessarily. Just more full, less like a big empty room. Obviously in real life this would be like full of smoke, but I can't really portray that well in Minecraft. I can't just put a bunch of campfires under here. Like it would just be really loud and awful. We can't do windows on this side, but we can do them on here. So why don't we come out, get some window materials, and start punching away. I think maybe here and here we could do windows. Like so. I have no idea what song auto-played, but I hope it's copyright free. There we go. So we got some windows up here, letting in some natural light. I think fantasy tavern / inn calls for like a big bear rug. And some of you may have seen I have this bear head. So this is a really nice song. Hold on. What am I listening to? Snowy Peaks, Chris Hagen. Well, shout out to Chris Hagen. This is... There we go. Okay. That's more like it. There we go. Big bear head. I am now Professor Bear. I kind of dig this song too. Hold on. What is this? Quincas Moreira, Jungle Trip. Okay. There we go. And let's get into doing some crimson tables. I think I want to start things off with a... hold on, wait. I did say this was an inn. Now, if this was a fantasy movie, they would always have like a big bar here. You know, you walk in, immediately there's like a big bar. The thing is, that takes up a lot of room. But we have a double... Okay, I think we can do it. I think we can pull it off. I'm not sure how I feel about the bear rug. It kind of clashes with the purple. Here, I'll do some classic brewing stands back here. All-time classic for the Minecraft tavern scene. I guess this build is... Oh, I didn't know I could do that. That's cool. The beauty of mods. That's great. Okay, so let's see what else we can't throw up here. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool touch. Thank you, chiseled resin blocks. Blocks or bricks? Bricks. Chiseled resin bricks. Very nice. Okay, of course, any bar needs a couple of sleazy bar patrons. This is really clashing, though, with the brown especially. This is not the move. The purple and orange works, but we need to get either more purple in here or more green or orange. But brown is just not it. And again, we're getting back to that green issue I mentioned earlier. Not enough green blocks in this game, unfortunately. There we go. That's something. It's something. That's something, folks. And I think I'd like to close this off now. Not close it off, open it up actually. Like so. A couple of barrels, of course. Can never go wrong with a barrel. And that's how we can get more green in here, actually. I don't know what I'm doing with these. This is what I need. Yeah, sure, I'll put one down there. Again, like that oak, the spruce of the barrel really clashes. For people who are just joining the stream, by the way, this place we're working on, Big Fantasy Tavern, going for kind of like a weird fantasy vibe with everything. And we're trying to work within these kind of secondary colors, purple, green, orange. Just because it's cool and fun, and, you know, Brewer's Town is working a lot with the primary colors. I tried to incorporate a lot of red, yellow, blue, so we're trying to do something a little bit different here. Keep taking water breaks. Just one of those days, you know. I think we would do well to get a big purple chandelier in here. That's a bit weird. There we go. Got ourselves a funky chandelier. That's not too bad. Really brave color choices. Thank you. I'm it's like it's one build in the middle of nowhere. That's why I feel a bit more comfortable experimenting, basically. I wouldn't make this the color palette of like a whole city, but since it's just like one building here, I think it's kind of fun to play into some of these more like kind of underused colors. I really had the idea to use like orange here because of the resin bricks, actually. Because we were talking in the Discord about like, are resin bricks terrible? And the conclusion was a little bit, uh, but they can still have their uses. And I think one of their really good uses is as an orange highlight, basically, when used with other blocks like this. You can see I actually did. So here there's like a kind of like a forced shadow effect. I don't know if you guys can get what I'm talking about. So if you look right underneath, you get these dark reds. And then there is like this orange, which kind of plays off of that tower. And then we get like these highlight bits. So we're using this kind of gradient to create some fun stuff, basically. It's also dark down here, which doesn't really fit into that gradient. It's just more for visual balance against this kind of area, which was a bit weird when it looked bright. And we got some resin breaks in here just to highlight things a little bit. But we need some actual tables. What did I do here? Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, that's kind of just going to be that, I think. Unless we come in here with some of this, a little bit lighter. Hold on, what we could also do, again, come in here with our Axiom tool, see what other colors we can work with. Not much. Not much, I'll be honest. We don't have a ton of options. So it probably is gonna stay like this. That one can be different, just for different sakes. Difference's sake. Isn't the upside down... Isn't the right side a bit barren compared to the super strikingly good-looking left on the outside? Yeah, kind of. It's kind of just the way the shape played out. I could bring in a bit of yellow here, but I feel like it looks good having like one eye-catching kind of big shape here, and then this bit being a bit more subdued. But I do get what you mean, and I'll consider, like I'll definitely consider adding a bit of yellow up here above this doorway area. Just because I don't want to ruin the outside too much with that. I'm enjoying this music, but it's getting a little bit loud. This song in particular, I mean. So yeah, visual balance is always a thing. Oh, you know what I can play here? Not play here. Put here. My cards. Aha. So I created this template, and I've used it in a couple of builds so far. It's basically a card table. It's people who are playing cards and having a drink. And then I can just duplicate that around, flip it. Whoops, hey, oh, what happened? There we go. And we can just tuck another one back here. It's on a weird angle though, because I can't perfectly fix that, which is silly and frustrating. I'm gonna have to remove that and then basically replace it. Like so. And that one's peeking off the table. Hold on. It shall be fixed. There we go. Now we've got some people playing cards in the corner, adding to that kind of, you know, tavern vibe. Here's an interesting idea. There is no dragon head placed in this world. I could place a dragon head. Well, it looks really weird and dark, though. It flashes in front of my face when I place it. Is this the vibe? Is this the move? Who's to say? I don't think it is, I'll be honest. This does need something, though, so I'm thinking maybe like a big weird painting. That's not what I wanted. Also not really what I wanted. This fits really well with the color palette, actually. Like, surprisingly well. Interesting. Very interesting. One day in the very far future, I will get a dual monitor, so I won't have to switch between tabs to change different music. I know there's technically like hotkeys. I'll probably learn the hotkeys. Joffy says, I'm liking the place. I like that the province has these small pockets with distinct personality. Which you're right, that breaks the sort of monotony that there would be otherwise. Yeah, I think it's a good vibe. Like it feels good to just walk around Tretogor and wander into some weird stuff. I feel like that kind of takes up too much of the room. Let's see, maybe the Wither painting? It's got some of those greens and purples. Kind of want to do like a big arrow if I can. It's hard to do a diagonal arrow, I will say. Maybe we can dye this orange and come in here with a glowing sack. Orange is not the move. Green, possibly. I'll have to figure out a better way to do that. Although I do like the idea of it. It's just not working out in practice at the moment. But I'll figure it out. Sorry, I was taking a Skittles break. This still needs something. I don't know if it's like a trim. If I just need to bring down the ceiling a little bit here. And kind of close off the space a little bit. Doesn't really work for me though, because it's comparatively too dark, basically. Yeah, I don't know, this is Does this work better as spruce? Still not really. Still not really. Whoops. Oh, goodness. That's not what I meant to do. We had a good thing going. Okay, there we go. We've got our thing back, but we missed our button. Like so. That ties everything together. Now, coming back to the question, though, of what to put around here. Possibly another painting. Maybe not one that big, though. These are all really bright. Possibly a slightly darker painting? I don't know that we really have some. I can put buttons. Like, I could just do buttons, but buttons doesn't really do much. I mean, I think buttons might be better than nothing, but I need to find something better than just buttons. I could do a crimson trim across here. And that kind of works. That kind of ties some things together. I could also potentially do a red trim behind it. like so. And that does kind of solve certain issues. I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world. I don't know. What do we think, chat? It's definitely something, but I don't think it's quite what it needs to be. I'll put some stew over here. Maybe suspicious stew. Maybe suspicious stew fits the vibe better. It's not a bad suspicious stew. See, I'm fine. I lived. No need to panic. But yeah. Oh, and we need to kind of fill up this space a bit. There we go, just something like that. Not too bad. Coming up here, I know for sure that we need an end table by the window and probably some candles here because I imagine it is very, very dark. For people who weren't here before, there is no light coming through these windows. Down here isn't bad. I mean, it's not like super bright, but well, I might put some candles back here. Maybe green? There we go. That's not terrible. I do want this to be a little bit lighter in here though, so I'm gonna use one of the tricks that I mentioned in the Discord, which is that I kind of fake the amount of light that my places have by adding light blocks around my candles. So, just like that, we have made this place artificially brighter. Isn't that lovely? And this place is bright enough, honestly. Over here, we'll probably do the same. Coming out like that, and then we can put something here. Maybe like a weird potted plant. That's not bad. Not bad at all. You could add a set of armor on the shelf. Would that work? Or miscellaneous swords if you need to fill the walls. I'm not sure where you mean to add a set of armor, although I could definitely do display entities to fill the walls. I'm not sure where I'd put it in here, though. Oh, if you guys have any suggestions, I was trying to figure out how to do like a big sign, and they didn't really come to a good answer. The best I got was this, which is like not terrible, but clearly not the best sign either. So I don't know. But yeah, the Sleeping Bear Inn needs a sign. And we kind of need to start working on some of these rooms a little bit. This is a dark hallway. Golly. Golly, golly. Especially with the black wall, this needs to be like so much brighter. So this is a double wall, so I can actually change this in places. I think starting here. Yeah, starting here. I can make this not black anymore. Which is kind of why I made this a double wall, because I knew I was probably going to come in here and change up the colors. This bright wallpaper is kind of an eyesore, but I mean, it's not like disgusting. I guess it's just a bit, it's a bit of an acquired taste, you know? I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm really struggling with this interior because I made it really weird, kind of on purpose, but not like this much on purpose. I didn't think I was going to struggle quite this much, if I'm being uh, frank. But so it goes, I guess. It's always a struggle. I might just make this black glass. This is my texture pack that's doing this, but black glass in Minecraft is usually not quite this dark. Maybe it should just be black glass. Hold on, I'm gonna get rid of this texture pack. I usually play with it, but I'll... Whatever, we'll pretend we don't have it for a minute, and we'll just see what it looks like. So this is my tinted. And this is my black glass, and in normal Minecraft, they look basically identical. So I think that's kind of how I have to treat it. I do like that tinted glass has like that really, you know, like that kind of purple trim. It really fits well with blackstone. I don't like, I do prefer the tinted glass, but it is kind of messing up my build a little bit, you know? Like if we come back here with my minimum brightness down, at least we're getting a lot of natural sunlight in here. As opposed to the tinted glass where we get just none. So, I don't know, it's kind of a... I mean, it's not the biggest difference in the world. I'll probably just use black glass. And I'll show it off without the texture pack. The texture pack basically just makes glass a bit more opaque, in theory. Which is one of those things in Minecraft, like glass is really clear, but medieval glass was not really clear. And especially the kind of... If any of you have played The Witcher 3, big fan of the tower. Oh, thank you, Zakshay. Just popping in to see what you're up to. I'm gonna guess that's the end of that sentence. I'm working on this big fantasy inn place. I've done a bit of work, mostly figured out this room and this room, basically. I really like how this one came together with the secondary colors. I don't remember what the tertiary colors are. And we've decided to go for some black glass. Now we need some... I always type in the color of blocks instead of the actual name, because I don't remember the names. Like, I just think of it in my head as, like, representing a color at this point. I guess crimson is a color, but I'll be honest, I don't think this is what color crimson is. And wouldn't mind some more candles in here. I made those orange. I think I'll keep with the orange theme. This is still really dark, though. There we go, a little bit lighter. This is another really nice song. Who's this by? This is Swans in Flight by Asher Falero. That's a musician whose songs I use quite a bit. Ooh, I don't like that at all. I do not like that at all. Okay, so I need to figure this out. Maybe I'll just do a black curtain. Kind of closes it off a little bit. Makes it a little bit less visible. Like so. And now we have just a nice big open room. I know Nafu, who went to bed a little bit ago, was mentioning the idea of doing themed rooms, which I like. I think a really cool idea could be country themes. Not country themes, like town themes. So I think we're gonna do this is gonna be the Stoneheart room. This is, I think, gonna be the Regensburg room. I think they're all gonna be kind of local, like places where people would actually visit from. So this is gonna be the Brewerstown room. And I'm trying to think what else is nearby. Not much. Um, I'm not sure. We do have some other places nearby. I'm just not sure if I want to name drop them, I guess. Or just go for a further place. Um, I'm trying to think of where people would reasonably visit from. I'll leave this one blank for a minute. We can come back to that. Stoneheart room is really nice. I guess because it is kind of Stoneheart. It's kind of a Stoneheart place. Here, I think we'll add a chest to the foot of the bed. Like so. There we go. Nice big old bed. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Probably another bed over here. When you travel, you're more likely to travel with multiple people than travel with like a ton of stuff. If you're traveling with a ton of stuff, you're probably not staying at an inn, you're probably like camping with like all of your stuff around you, I think. So yeah, we're just gonna make it be like this basically, and then we can pop in some candles. Minimum brightness is at 0, so I guess we don't really need candles. That's fine, you can get into bed easily. We'll put in some hooks so you can hang in your coat, your coats and stuff. Maybe here we'll do a stair instead of another little chest. Like so, and there we go. That's the Stoneheart room taken care of. I have the Regensburg room. So Regensburg is pink and yellow, so I'll do a pink bed. I don't think we have space for a double bed though. I think the Regensburg room is going to be pretty cramped. Pretty cramped. And this one could kind of use the lighting. So here, we'll get rid of that. This way you can climb into bed from the bottom, and then we will put a crimson thing on the side here, and we'll put in some more candles. Like I said, I don't want this place to be like super dark, so I should just keep that on me. Like so. This feels kind of barren though. Maybe we could fit a painting up here. It really doesn't fit with the... hold on. We're gonna go for that one. At least this one kind of fits the outside. Alright, we are on to Wish You Never Left by Track Tribe. Yeah, there we go. That'll be fine. Only one person here, so we'll just have one coat hook. A little chair to sit in, and that is the Regensburg room. This room is in dire need of a painting or something. This is the Brewerstown room. I'll put in some candles first thing so you guys can see what we're up to. Brewerstown is a red and cyan colors, so we'll go for red. And let's get into the crimson. Like so. Whoops, punching through. I did not mean to. All right. And this place does not have much storage. So I don't know, maybe this is for somebody who's traveling pretty light. They just have one little drawer on the side. It's a pretty nice room, but you just don't have much space to put your stuff, you know? Unless I just make this at the bottom that. But then it kind of just soaks, it just takes up all the space in the room. I think we gotta hit. I think we have to hit a good balance between like the things people reasonably need when they're traveling and just making a nice Minecraft room. And I think right now we should be leaning a little bit more toward a nice Minecraft room. And the last one. I think this one might be a room for multiple people staying. Whoops, that's not what I meant. Okay. That's for a place you guys haven't seen yet, so I'm not going to go too into it. But I think, yeah, this is just going to be a room where you can rent to just sleep in like a kind of communal living thing. If any of you have ever stayed in a hostel, you know, that kind of situation. So you get your little bed, you get a nightstand. It's pretty cramped, kind of sucks, but you know, It's something. And of course we can come in here like so. I don't think they're gonna put any flower pots in here. It's not a very high class room. But maybe one of these guys is traveling with some stuff. So he has a little bundle with him. Like so. And there we go. Gonna put some coat hooks up here. And I think that's basically it. I mean, it's just not a very nice place. Um, it's a shelter for the night, you know. You get a little drawer to put your stuff, but that's about it. This area I definitely want to fill in with hay, and I'm trying to think a bit more about what Joppy said earlier. So I'm thinking of maybe putting in another one of these big dormer window type things. We'll see how it looks. Okay, so if I just tried to do... Whoops, that's not what I meant. That is also not what I meant. I don't know. What do we think in the chat, guys? Maybe add a loft at the top of the storage, and maybe bookshelves on the walls. Yes, I agree. I will do some bookshelves on the walls. That is a good idea. I usually put my bookshelves sticking out, but there's no reason that they have to be. Bookshelf on the wall is a great idea. I will not make it look like that, though. Where's my loom? Where is my loom? There we go. Maybe we'll repeat that up here, or just cap it off like this. Something like that. I think that fits. Some overgrowth would add greens if you need a little color. I agree. I will definitely add in some green. I think I like this bit here. I think it fits. Kind of fit with the gradient pretty well. Let's see where this lines up though. Not where it was supposed to. We don't really need a window here. Again, this is more of a this is building for the exterior in like the truest sense, because I mean this is kind of like a dumb place for a window um of this sort, but man, that is a dark stained glass window. Oh, how I miss my tinted glass. Definitely need something here. Oh God, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, there we go. And then if we come in here, nope. Okay. Okay, okay. So it looks like that. It looks like that. Now I've got a couple windows in here. It's not quite as blind as it was. Does that look kind of weird? Maybe. Maybe. But I think we can kind of blend this in here. That's not what I meant at all. There we go. I don't think it really detracts. Like, I think it just makes it a bit more of a complicated shape. Obviously, I tried to work a lot with shape on this one. Like, on this build, I mean. Um, and in some ways it paid off. It looks weird alone, needs a partner. All right, let's... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I hope that didn't ruin anything. Hopefully, hopefully. Okay. There we go. Now it has a partner. I think I think it does look a little bit better like that. I think these are okay. I think these are okay. I might still come back here and add in something a little bit more. But yeah, we've got a little bit of light in here now. I have to figure out a way to kind of divide up this space, which I don't know. I'll figure it out. Anyway, there should be a door here, though. I'll have it labeled. But there should be a door. And in some way, there should be a ladder up to the next level. So I think it's probably going to be here. So basically, if you want to get supplies, like if you want to store supplies for like the winter, stuff you don't need often at all, you can bring it out back, hitch it up. They will take a pulley, basically pulley it all the way up, and then you can just store it here. It's got some free storage space. It's not very well insulated, but you know, it's kind of warm because heat rises. And then if you're in here and you ever want to access your storage stuff, check on it, you can come up through the ladder. I'd put it left one, but it's good. The house has a really nice shape all around. Thank you. Yeah, maybe that's it, because there's 3 here and there's 1 here, so it's kind of 2, 1, 3, 4. That is kind of odd, I guess. At least then it's 4, 2, 2, 2. See, this is why it helps to have people with you when you're building. Although not all the time. Evidently, it goes slower and, you know, too many cooks. But here we go. I did not realize I could replace these, so I will. And then I don't have to see that ugly deep slate. There we go. So it's a little bit better. And it actually lines up with this now, although now this still doesn't. I don't know if it should, but you know, one of those things. So this is the reason I'm trying to put in a stair here is because it's supposed to be a drainage thing, so that the water doesn't pool up on this area. But there we go. Now it lines up and it kind of goes through, and it looks better. So I'm behind on videos, evidently. But I just did the prep for another one, and this new video is. Oh, I can make this dark oak if I want. That's cool. The new video is going to be on my hypothetical farming update for Minecraft. Um, it wouldn't be like a huge thing. It would be in the style of like the drops that Minecraft has been doing. You know, the kind of thing they can develop with a turnaround rate of like 3 months or so. Um, I'm not trying to make it over the top. I'm trying to keep it realistic. I'm trying to think about what like Mojang thinks about and be I want to say like respectful of their game dev style because evidently when a lot of people do those videos, the point of it is just like to be rude to the developers and be like, look, this is what the game needs. I'm a gamer and I know what the games need. And I that's really not the approach I want to take at all. I want to look at what kind of content Minecraft has been getting and treat it like that, except that the theme this time is stuff that I would want to see around farming and stuff that's kind of tangentially related to farming. So like some new blocks in the game that I don't want to spoil for that video. Um, but like some new flowers, for instance, or a new mob that's kind of a farm animal, but not one that you would ever think of if you live in like a North American context. Um, it's really not common here at all. Like you basically don't see them unless you're at the zoo. But in other countries, they are a farm animal, and you can use them for really important stuff. So, kind of following what Mojang has been doing, with their additions of like the panda, the armadillo, the axolotl, trying to incorporate a bit more of that. I haven't really decided how I want to segregate this loft up yet. Segregate's the wrong word. Divvy. But I know I do want some hay up here. It is a hay loft after all. So we should have some hay on this side, and then I feel like maybe here, from here on, it can just be like maybe like a sleeping quarters? My voice went higher than I expected there. Uh, it will be a sleeping quarters. There you go. So this bit here can still be for like hay or whatever, but I think over here we're gonna do a little table and put down a lantern. Like there isn't always a light source here, but like today somebody was like walking by and they just placed down a lantern absentmindedly. You know, that kind of idea. But anyway, so this is our kind of hayloft, and let me now turn the brightness down again. It's pretty bright in here, not bad. We do need doors on our hayloft, which I have no idea what I'm gonna do for here. Maybe I'll just do something like this and say that they're open doors. And they're just not going to close. Don't come by. I'm sure they close when you're not here, but like right now they're not going to close. So don't bother waiting. Like that. If you left these open, basically you would still have like a good airflow or whatever. So I'm not sure about this table though. It doesn't. This is like a more accurate medieval table, but it just doesn't fit the vibe of this place, which is very not medieval, just like pure fantasy. And we could probably do a couple barrels. Maybe an open one there. You know, up here, I've been liking to do. Oh, I've been trying to record recently, but my voice sounds buns on replay. What should I do? I think you're asking the wrong person because I've been struggling with audio issues for just for a while. Um, I guess I would ask what you're recording on. I record on OBS, which is fine, I guess. So it could be what your recording software is. It could be your mic. It could be what you're replaying it on, or the compression. But I guess, yeah, my first question would be, what are you actually recording on? That doesn't really fit there because it's too bright. OBS and Audacity. Audacity is fine. Um, Possibly check your microphone. It depends what you mean by buns. So if you feel like it sounds really muffled, that's one issue. But if you keep cutting out, like your voice keeps going like really soft and then like weird, that's a separate thing, really. But yeah, Joppy is asking for clarification. Like, is it your voice or the software? I'm assuming you mean it's a software issue. Um, I changed my software stuff today, so I can show you what I changed it to on OBS. Uh, so right now you can see my mic and my filters. I have noise suppression, mostly for my fan or like if my dog barks. A limiter and another limiter, and then a compressor, which in theory is making my voice not sound terrible right now, but I can't hear the playback, so I'm kind of relying on you guys to tell me if my voice is unbearable right now. Uh, Sadly, it's my voice. You can definitely do voice training. I mean, singers do it, trans people do it, a lot of voice actors do it, to be honest. I think basically all voice actors do it. So there are a lot of people out there who have experience and who can teach you how to train your voice to sound better on recordings. Uh, I've had people say I sound good on recordings or that I have like a soft spoken voice, but I don't know. I mean, I mostly talk with my normal talking voice. I'm always like a little bit quieter than I am in real life because I'm in a house full of people and I always feel a bit weird recording, but uh, I love your videos. They're unique. Thank you. Uh, Pulse Poly, how does that work? Do you mean how does voice training work? I I don't have experience with it. I would say a lot of it is trying to like repeat sentences and try to get them the way that you want um, them to sound, I suppose. Trying to work on your, say, if you have an accent, or work on your pitch, work on your volume. Um, I know you said it sounds like your voice is like raspy or whatever. A lot of people who record for a long time typically do take stuff to help them for their voice. So I know if you guys know Overly Sarcastic Productions, the person who runs, well, one of the people who runs that, Blue, has talked about drinking like tons of tea with honey every time they record. So that can be one thing, or taking like Halls or Ricola or Buckley's, whatever kind of like throat soothing stuff, if that's more your issue. I usually just keep a big bottle of water with me, especially when I stream. I have, what is 24 ounces of water next to me. But I think the last stream I did, my voice was going out, and you know, it's always a struggle. I mean, it's not necessarily easy just because you get more used to it. But yeah, there's always something you can do. Like it's never, nothing is ever really hopeless, even when it really sucks. Have you thought of joining a building server like Nodenium? Um, I have not heard of Nodenium, although I've been invited to join various servers. I have not done it thus far. Um, I'm not against it. I just haven't really done it. I mean, no offense to people who join servers or anything. I just, when I think about joining servers, I mostly just tend to feel like, unless it's with my friends, I'm just not really gonna get super invested. Um, if any of you know, I can't remember the guy's name anymore. Never mind. But I was briefly, when, before Caves and Cliffs split, before 17 and 9 and 18 became two different updates, when it was still one update, we were all playing on like a big server, like in the caves and stuff, and that was cool. Because I was watching that guy's live streams, but I don't know, like I just don't, I just haven't done it in a while, like the whole server thing. I know there's like the bakery server, which seems like it's really popping off. I don't know if that's like a whitelist thing or if anybody can join. Um, but bakery server seems really cool. And I used to hang out on Darwin, the Conquest Reforged server, a little bit, but I wasn't like into it. I just wanted to hang out there because Ducon Red One used to do live streams there, and then Vigo Man. And I was into both of them. More Ducon. I never got like super into Vigo Man, but if you guys know Conquest, you know those two people. Like they are two of the biggest names, other than I'd say like Red Ranger or Man of Dutch, who are, Red Ranger's been around forever, Man of Dutch less so. Both fantastic creators, but I just don't really watch their stuff. This feels still really empty to me, so I think what I'm gonna do is, it's because I'm trying to balance like the fantasy colors and like the brown muted colors, and it's just it's kind of not working for me. I feel like I need to just, I don't know. That's not what I wanted at all. More like that. Kind of crowd the place up a bit. Maybe do some little dividers between the beds. Kind of like supporting the wall, but also adding a little bit of sense of difference, I guess. I don't know. I'll probably come back in here and like rework some of the things I've done on stream, like in private, not in private, like off stream, like just before I post the actual video. Um, but I am happy doing it on stream. Like I like the process of trying to work this out like with a chat. Um, I mean, for an establishment that big, you need double-decker beds, surely. These are just like the kitchen guys and like stable hands. So I'm assuming like I think probably all three of these guys work with like the horses and maybe do like a little bit of say like two of them work with the horses and one of them kind of goes into like Stoneheart town and like buys supplies from the castle or makes trips into Regensburg through like there or trips into Brewerstown. Like one of them is a bit more of like a handyman kind of guy, and two of them are more like stable hands. And then actually working like the bar and the kitchen is going to be probably like a family of four who lives here. I guess this is kind of a tight space though. I don't know. I mean, it's always a bit fuzzy. Add pressure plates and buttons on the floor. I I'm not against that idea, but where specifically? Um, I watched your video on map making since I asked in Discord, but MCA selector does not work on Mac. Yeah, I've been told that Zero's world map does. So if you can download mods, um, I would download that one. I think that one works. There are certainly other alternatives. I just don't know them. I don't play on Mac. I don't have any experience with Mac. The thing is, when I make these kinds of tutorials, I just try to show people how I do stuff. I try to take into account a little bit like what people's restrictions are and stuff. Like I do try to offer a couple of alternatives, but ultimately when I make a tutorial, it's based on like how I actually do stuff. So that's why it's I just didn't realize that at the time. I also didn't realize at the time that you have to pay to import stamps into Krita. I didn't realize that because I only use Krita now basically like every couple months. I'll just buy Krita for a month and then I'll do like some world building stuff and then I'll or like D&D maps because I play D&D with my friends, Dungeons and Dragons. Um so yeah, every couple months I will get back into Krita, do a couple of things, and then just tap out after a month after paying like the $5 Canadian, 5.75 I think it is on the credit card, which is still more than some people have evidently, but it is my process. I can't really do an end table right there or here. Nice, flawless. I do like that we have a big balcony out here. I was like a big kind of upstairs area. When I visited my cousin in Paris, she was staying in this like really small apartment at the time, and it was nice that in the mornings we could come out and eat our breakfasts on the patio and get some fresh air and get a bit more room away from the studio apartment. So it's nice, you know. And then maybe up here we can just have some plants growing. A couple of plants up here. Yeah, that's too low, but we can just do something like that. Near the storage, World Painter takes forever. How do you get ideas for your builds? I have not used I've used World Painter exactly once, and I was like, wow, this is awful, and I don't like it at all. How do I get ideas for my builds? Kind of everywhere. I've mentioned before, like, I love playing The Witcher 3 and Kingdom Come Deliverance, so sometimes I get inspired by that. Sometimes I just get like this black and yellow thing here. is because on Instagram every once in a while I get recommended Lego, and I really like the like a lot of times like the Lego guys do like these kinds of like medievally builds, and they will use like this exact color palette of like black and yellow like medievally stuff. So I got inspired by Lego on Instagram. I get inspired by movies. If you guys saw my Cutthroat Cove video, that's inspired by Pirates of the Caribbean. Um, Over there, the monument is inspired by a Ghibli movie, Studio Ghibli, the Japanese animation studio. I mean, way over there, the Whaler's Wharf is inspired by a bunch of stuff. It's partly inspired by the music video for Dashboard by Modest Mouse. If on the very odd chance that anyone in this chat is a Modest Mouse fan, um, that's where that's from. So yeah, a lot of it is. Oh, and Regensburg was inspired by me basically. Um, I spent all summer looking at Dutch art books, so like books about like the Dutch, well, you can like the Flemish Golden Age or whatever. Um, so yeah, like the way you get inspired is by taking in art, and the way you get burnt out a lot of times is by not having enough art in your life, I feel. And yeah, I mean that's more my process. I'm sure not everyone feels that way, but I know for me, one of the things that has been consistently tied to whether I feel burnt out or not is, am I taking in enough creative stuff? This area here is going to be the stables for the horses. And we'll probably have some lanterns here because it's dark and I don't want it to be dark, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, there we go. Now it's decently bright. Of course, if you're one of those people who plays with your brightness low, it'll be very different. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't realize my brightness was so low when I was doing this. Um, I usually play with 100 brightness, but this is a new laptop, so I haven't had a chance to configure my Minecraft perfectly yet. I did not realize it was so low. So let me see something. Let me see something. Oh yeah, it's fine brightness in here. It's just because I was playing on 50 brightness. That's why it sucked. Yeah, this is totally fine. I don't know why I was getting like gaslit by like the Minecraft lighting system. Gaslit is a strong word. I don't want to say that, but I was incorrectly believing something because of a weird quirk of having switched laptops. I'm allergic to even numbers while building. Yeah, I am too. I built this on mostly evens accidentally. Just, I don't know, like because of this roof bit, it just kind of ended up that way, even though it wasn't really meant to be that way. So this building's kind of on evens, but yeah, I don't know. So yeah, we got our tinted glass back. That feels good. It's nice and bright in here. Digging it. Definitely digging it. We need to put something here though. I think I'll put a painting. Oops. That's fine. And we can put in some more of this warped stuff that we've been putting everywhere. I'd love to put in like a clock or something, but I don't have the clock head on me and I don't want to start digging for it in the Minecraft Heads website, to be honest. But yeah, so the farming update. Um, Minecraft farming kind of annoys me, and it's not just that we don't have enough crops, it's that like we don't have stuff around farming. That's kind of what bothers me. Um, Again, I'm trying to talk about a topic without like completely spoiling it, but farming is such a huge part of Minecraft, and yet it's been ignored for a while. Like, I'll tell you guys, the last time we got actual crops in this game, and I don't mean like glowberries, which are technically a crop, or uh, torch flowers, which are technically a crop. I mean, the last time Minecraft was like, here you go. Here's something you can put in the ground and then pick it back up and get like rewards out of it. Was like 2013 when they added beets and carrots and potatoes. Like we've been starving. We've been starving for like high quality crops because every field you build in Minecraft is the same. Farmer's Delight type update. Yes. Exactly yes. I'm not following exactly what Farmer's Delight is. I didn't want to look too much at that mod when I made my like when I was coming up with ideas for my thing. But basically, yeah, like we need a Farmer's Delight kind of update. And kind of sucks that we don't have one. But I think it is possible. I don't think because we don't have one right now it means that we can't or shouldn't have one. I think it just means there are possibilities in this game for things that would be really cool and that are able to be added by Mojang, at some point in theory. I don't know how hot or cold it gets up here, so I wanted to add that in just to be sure. I kind of wish there was a balcony here. But I guess there's one over there by the bedroom. I mean, we don't like need it. But yeah, Minecraft desperately, in my opinion, needs to have an update just centered around giving a little bit of love to farming. I don't necessarily think that we need big new farming mechanics. I know my regenerative agriculture video was kind of leaning that way a bit. That's not really, when I say stuff like it would be interesting if Minecraft had more detailed like farming mechanics that represented the complexity of these things in real life. What I mean isn't like, oh, Mojang should like slave away for years at a time trying to make some kind of like big revolutionary thing. I just think it needs a bit of love, basically. What is your opinion on beetroots? Um, in real life or in the game? Because in real life, I don't really like beets. I don't know. They're like fine, but I don't. Of all the root vegetables I've had, like rutabaga, parsnip, turnip, carrot, potato, onion, garlic, whatever, like beets are my least favorite. Radish. Um, in the game though, they're fine. I think they're a bit bright as a texture, to be honest. Uh, but I still plant them every once in a while just because we don't have that many options. I'm fine planting beets, but so my issue is every Minecraft place, like every player's build in Minecraft, no matter where you go, they're always planting wheat. You can you can visit the build of like anyone anywhere in the world playing Minecraft. That was going to be planting wheat, and I think that's boring. I think we need some new crops. You mentioned Viking stuff though, and this is kind of my Nordic-y area. This is like an actual Viking house. I called it my Viking goat farm. This was the first thing I built in 1.21. We have some goats. These took me forever to get because I'm using no AI. Got a little house here, some beds, a fish hanging up to smoke, and a little fire pit with a moss roof. Down here we have a little bit of a like a whatever kind of wheat farm and some fishing. See you later, Pulse Polly. It is 10:15. We've been at this for a while now. We're getting close to finishing the end, though. I mean, I'll be honest, I did more than I thought I was going to. Oh, I didn't have a good chance to show this off anywhere. So, since you guys are watching, um, I connected. Basically, this used to just be by itself, and I finally connected this area. So I put in like a little cart here, and I did this bridge. This is inspired by Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. There's like a big wooden bridge at Zhaleov? Something. So yeah, it's like a wooden covered bridge here. And it kind of also fits like the kind of cowboy theme, you know? Yippee! So yeah, let's try to actually finish this. There's this area and then there's upstairs. I think we can do this. I think this is realistic to try and finish this in like today. These are going to be some pretty big stables, I'll be honest. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't really figure it out, but the wheat lot, the hay loft. Oh, just a random thing. The hay is not wheat. And I'm not saying that Minecraft should add like actual hay, but yeah, hay is not wheat. Like really. It's kind of its own thing and low key, I think anyway. I don't know where I was going with that. These are some big horse stables. I'm definitely gonna put a llama in one of these, and I'm gonna put a donkey. Actually, I might just put a sniffer. Screw it. It's my fantasy place. I'm gonna do a sniffer. See, that's too close though. Like I know you could technically fit a horse in there, but I feel like a horse would freak out. Crops provide really great visual variety to gardens or landscapes, and I really wish we had more just for aesthetic purposes. Yes, Lemon Zest, 100% agree. Um, the farming update I'm proposing adds 2 new crops, which is not a lot, but it's 2 crops that I really thought out and I tried to be realistic with, and I wasn't just like, and we should add 90,000 things that don't do anything and just replicate potatoes. Like this isn't the turnip update, you know. I'm not gonna do it like that. But yeah, basically, I am considering adding like not adding. I think it would be good to add a couple of crops. One that's more for visual variety when you're doing like medieval builds, and one that's better for the global community that plays Minecraft. Um, Joppy says the thing with everyone planting wheat is that every other plant is green. Wheat's the only distinct looking one. I agree. I agree, and that's another issue. That's another, you know, can of worms or whatever. I think back here, I'm just gonna do something simple. Like this, and okay, I'm gonna leave that barren for now. But somebody in the Discord, and I don't remember who it was, so I can't give credit at the moment. I think it might have been Storm Spirit. Don't quote me on that. Came up with this really cool idea of using an invisible horse with a saddle on it to look like a saddle, like kind of bent over like a wooden post. And it looks really great, honestly. So I am gonna try and incorporate that into here, basically. Okay, so one of these is gonna have a horse. Um, I'm gonna actually use animals. Usually I use like no AI animals because Minecraft animals are just genuinely upsetting to work with. Um, but I'm gonna make the effort, you know? So here, let's do a horse, let's do a donkey, and over here, we'll just do a sniffer. Oh my god, they're big. Oh my god. I didn't think it would be that. Oh my god. I didn't think it would be that big. I didn't think it'd be that big. Oh my god. Could you... I think this is animal cruelty. Good. Okay, I'm sorry. I can... Oh my god. Okay, anybody who's really into animals, look away from the screen right now. We're gonna have to do a llama. I did not know sniffers were that big. I'm used to baby sniffers, I guess. Oh, good lord. Okay, I'm sorry guys. This is a killing animals stream kind of day, I guess. That's that's my bad. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm used to like sniffers when they first like hatch, I guess. If you can use the word hatch. I didn't know they were gonna be I didn't know it was gonna be that big. That's absolutely insane. Okay, okay, calm down. We'll get there. We'll get there, folks. I'm punching holes in the floor by accident. Whoops. Oh, good lord. Okay, okay. That's my bad. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. And we're going through it again. I'm back again. Hello, Sir Friedrich von Königsberg. Okay. Come on. Come on. There we go. Unfortunately, now we kind of have to make this a bit muddy. There we go. And we're gonna do some water. I know not all horse stables have water, but we don't have like a big trough anywhere. I mean, we could do like a trough here, but it's kind of on a slope. Doesn't really make sense. I just realized I should have done the trough before I put in the darn horse. Well, you know, it kind of makes sense. I don't know what to tell you. What is happening here? Okay, that's fine. And then we'll do another one out back. I might come back here and make those above ground. Because it kind of just looks weird right now. It looks like we're hosing off the horses. Not a moment too soon, but we just executed some animals. It, unfortunate events have occurred at the Sleeping Bear Inn this evening. I regret to inform. Okay. Don't know why that's a thing. Here we go. Again, when I mentioned like building things just for the shape, this is another one. Like this doesn't really make sense as a building, but maybe it'll be a toilet. Screw it. It'll be a toilet. There we go. We found an excuse. We found a Now, is one toilet enough for what is it? Four family members, three stable hands, and up to about 15 customers? Probably not. Probably not. We might have to put in a toilet like here, possibly. I don't know. We might have to put in the toilet somewhere. But we have technically, okay, other than this part, we have technically done like every interior for this place. Um, I know everyone loves to do like a creepy thing in the attic. I don't think I'm gonna do a creepy thing in the attic. I feel like it's overplayed. You know, I think everybody wants a creepy thing in their attic, and we just expect attics to be creepy now. But someone needs to be building normal attics for the creepy thing in the attic thing to work out. And if I have to bear that cross, I will. Uh, have you seen the Great Hall of my castle? I have. I have in the Discord. I think it looks really cool with the big wooden, like the big dark oak rafters all over the ceiling. Love me a big castle Great Hall. Let's put in some barrels. Maybe this one here is kind of empty. Can put an old loom back here. And maybe just some chairs, you know? Some chairs that they only use if there's like some guests in the summer. There we go. Some natural lighting. Just looks like some weird mold or something. But it's still not creepy. It doesn't count as a creepy attic. I considered putting a flag on top of this tower, but it felt kind of out of place. Have you thought about adding a cellar for jams, wines, and cold storage items? I briefly considered it, and then I kind of stopped considering it, but it is a good idea. I just don't know where I'd put it. Okay, what I could do is I could hollow out this bit. Like I could I'm not gonna, but I'm just saying I could like get rid of that and then put a big cellar here and then just do like an underground bit. I don't know that this place really needs it, like vibes wise, but it is certainly an option. It's certainly an option. And I'm happy with this place. I feel like we did some cool interior stuff. Um, I don't know. I still need to do a bit of work out here, I guess. And we'll probably do something out here. I don't think I want to do a railing or anything, but probably be like a bench, right? That looks awful. Oh, I didn't figure this out. Now that there are different people here than there were like 2 hours ago. Do you guys have any ideas for how to make like a big in sign? I think the side toilet could be turned into a stairway down to the cellar, possibly. I think having a toilet is more important than having a cellar. Also possible. Although you can always just go squat in the woods if you really want to. Uh, but I think I think ultimately what this channel will be known for, long after I'm dead, is the channel where people built toilets. And that's okay. It's an important legacy to have. And I'm really happy with how this place turned out. I have enjoyed this stream, even though it started off pretty rocky for me not having a mic reasons, which I still didn't figure out, by the way. I still have no idea why I just didn't have any kind of microphone audio coming through at all. Also, why nobody told me until 15 minutes in. And that was Nofi that told me. I support the toilet agenda. Good, good. We're making a difference. But yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna end things off for this one, guys. I enjoyed streaming tonight. Like I said, the next video is realistically gonna be like Thursday. That'll be Brewers Town for sure. And then after that, I don't know. I have two videos I want to do, right? I want to do that farming update video, and I want to do the interior guide video, teach like kind of sharing with you guys my not my process. You guys know my process, but kind of giving like a step by step of how to think about building interiors. I think would be really interesting and valuable. So that's also on the agenda. Of course, this is on the agenda now. I mean, like pretty far. I'm probably not going to show this in the video until like late May, if I'm being honest. There's Whaler's Wharf. There is Chamberlain Castle and the other castle over there. And we got a lot of stuff going on. But it's good to have stuff going on. It's good to have stuff planned out. I'd rather be in the state of having an idea of like every video for the next month and a half, or 2 months even at this point, than in the place of not knowing what my next video is going to be. Because that's kind of not super fun, I guess. It is more fun to have an idea of like what you want to show off. But like I talked about in the Discord today, it's also a little bit stressful. Like I want to do Brewers Town justice. I don't want to half-ass that video. Obviously something like the April Fool's ranking video it didn't turn out the way that I wanted. Obviously, like the audio was just awful and the editing was a bit like sloppy, and it's just one of those things. But with Brewers Town, I really do want to take my time, and I really do want to do it justice, which means that I can't half-ass it in any way. I really have to put my heart and soul into doing that video and trying to do it well and try to make something to that I can be proud of. But yeah, that's that's gonna be it for today, guys. And I will see you on Thursday, in theory. So yeah, see ya.